Hey, happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair, the Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com. Tonight is Monday, June 24th. This is episode 320. Wow. 320 of The Daily Dope. So, welcome aboard. Brand new week, got lots cooking. Tonight, I'm actually going to unbox and take a first look at Robotech, Attack on the SDF-1. This is from Japanime Games and Strange Machine Games. So we are going to be taking a peek at that. It's a pretty good sized box, got a lot of heft to it as well. So looking forward to checking that out. Do want to mention, if this is the first time you've popped in to check out the show, this is a live stream, so it's a little bit different than what you're probably used to seeing as far as tabletop gaming, shows and videos and podcasts and things like that. So very, very off the cuff. It's just really casual. I mainly talk about some tabletop gaming news, do some unboxings or reviews, or maybe page through an RPG product, do reviews of RPG products, so lots of different things, usually cooking. Do want to point out, because this is a live stream, chat is available on YouTube. It's just not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the stranger commenters at bay. But if you just want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question, or there's something about Robotech Attack on the SDF-1 that you'd get a closer look at, by all means, feel free to chime in. I see Jorge Rodriguez is already in chat, too. So, good to see it's like, I made it! I'll be able to see it all live. Jorge, it's not that exciting, man. It's not that exciting. I'm just joking. So, if you are watching live, by all means, please jump into chat. Say hi. I don't bite. Everybody's pretty friendly in chat. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. If you check out some of the videos on the Gaming Gang channel and you'd like them, by all means, please subscribe. If you do subscribe, be sure to ring that little bell, because not only will it inform you when there's a new video up on the channel, it'll also tell you when the stream goes live within about 5 minutes. But the show does air Monday through Fridays, 7 o'clock Central, give or take a minute or two sometimes. So, and of course, tell a friend about thegaminggang.com, tell them about the Gaming Gang channel here on YouTube, as well as the Daily Dope. Doesn't hurt to help spread the word. So, got some tabletop gaming news. I'm going to get into that in just a few moments, and of course, then we're going to do the unboxing for Robotech Attack on the SDF-1. But I did want to mention something that I don't always talk about non-gaming things. But I noticed last week that DC Comics had announced that they were going to actually shutter the Vertigo imprint of DC Comics. They were basically pulling the plug on Vertigo, and I was like, holy cow. I was like, seriously? After like 26 or 27 years of having the Vertigo imprint, it will be no more after the first of the year. And I don't know. Weird things are going on at Warner Brothers, especially as far as their comic book IPs and that. Something isn't right, and I don't know exactly what it is. But to be honest, shuttering Vertigo, I don't think is the answer. Right? They're talking about, they'll take some of the series, some of the titles will go to the DC Black label, which is like their mature label now, which is what Vertigo was all the time. Although I think they're doing the Black label is supposed to be like superhero comics that are more mature. So with Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, their whole stable of characters. piggybacking on Vertigo being shut down, which blows because I used to get just about any comic that was being published under that imprint because they were so good. You figured you had Neil Gaiman's Sandman, you had Y the Last Man, you had Fables, Bill Willingham's Fables, which was phenomenal. Loved that. There was loads and loads of comic goodness that wasn't just the same old superheroes in tights. So sad to see that being shut down. But piggybacking on that, another thing I thought was weird was Swamp Thing, which is airing on the DC Universe, the streaming / comic book archive service that they've got. And they canceled Swamp Thing after the first episode aired. Kind of weird. I know that they were trying to trim the episode order from 13 down to 10. I don't know if they ended up doing that for the season. But yeah, one episode aired, and Warner Brothers pulled the plug on it. And I have to admit, I've watched the first 3 episodes, and I really like it. I'm like, did they pull the plug because it was too expensive? Because I can see like the swamp, shooting in a swamp. If it is a real swamp, it could just be, studio sets and things like that. But looks like it's probably a real swamp. But yeah, I was pretty amazed. I really liked it. I like it better than Titans so far. And I did like Titans, although I think the final episode of Titans was a real letdown. I like Doom Patrol, even though it was really bizarre, really out there. But that's kind of how Grant Morrison's run on the comic was too. It was way out there. But pretty strange that so far each of the shows have like finished up with a cliffhanger. So Titans has a cliffhanger, Doom Patrol has a cliffhanger. I kind of don't dig that. I don't necessarily dig that when we were going to have to wait so long. Netflix did that with Umbrella Academy too. I was sort of like, would have been nice if you kind of wrapped all this up. And still, you could have story threads that you're going to follow up in the second season. But still. So Jorge asks, why did they cancel Swamp Thing after just the first episode? I have no clue. I have no idea. I don't think DC Universe is doing all that well. I think like I said, there's weird things going on with Warner Brothers behind the scenes that nobody's saying what's cooking, but things just don't seem right. There's a lot of weird stuff going on behind the scenes with DC Comics and with Warner Brothers, and of course we've seen outside of Wonder Woman and in some respects Aquaman, the latest DC movies have pretty much, yeah, they've made some money, but they haven't been killers like, Marvel Universe, right? Marvel Studios. So, don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, so if you have a chance, check out Swamp Thing. But what I would probably recommend is, because they do it where it's like one episode a week, something else. I like binge watching stuff. So a lot of times with shows, I'll wait until like the season's over, and then I'll watch it, because then I can just kick back and watch every episode, right? But anyway, I was going to say, what you might want to consider doing once Swamp Thing finishes its run, check out DC Universe for a month, and Titans. Like I said, I like Titans. Didn't care for the final episode. Doom Patrol was good, and in my opinion, Swamp Thing so far is the best of the 3 series, and they yanked the plug on that after 1 episode. So I think it's probably a cost thing. That's my guess. Look at this. Lead magnets popping in. Yes. Adrian Barbeau. Yes. The Swamp Thing movie way back in the day. I don't recall watching that whole movie. I remember seeing bits of it. But yes, Adrian Barbeau. Yeah, I remember she was how do I want to put it nicely? Some like additional chrome in like movies like Escape from New York. Right, sort of like. So, is it Adrian Barbeau you want in the movie, or just the boobs? Which is it? So good to see you, Led. Thanks for popping in tonight. We should get a good chat going. I assume it's a Monday night. Come on, what else is there to do, right? I assume we'll see Dan from No Enemies Here pop in at any moment. All right, so I've got some tabletop gaming news, and I know there are folks out there who do not like the tabletop gaming news. If that is the case, by all means, take a peek in the show notes below. And of course, if you're watching this after the fact, there will be timestamps. You can skip right past the tabletop gaming news. If you're watching live, you're stuck with me covering the news, but it's not a whole lot, and some interesting stuff as well. So first off, I do want to point out, it's summer. So that means vacations and beaches and swimming and sharks. That's right. Jaws the board game arrived in Target stores yesterday from Ravensburger. It is a Target exclusive, at least for the first year. The game is for 2 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, and I've got the dope. In Jaws, one player takes on the role of the killer shark off Amity Island, while the other 1 to 3 players take on the roles of Brody, Hooper, and Quint to hunt the shark. Character and event cards define player abilities and create game actions for humans and the shark. Yes, good old Bruce. Gameplay is divided into 2 acts, Amity Island and the Orca, played on a double-sided board to replicate the film's story. In the Amity Island phase, the shark menaces swimmers and avoids capture. Other players attempt to pinpoint the shark's location and save swimmers from shark attacks. We can't close the beaches. What are you talking about? You'll put the whole town out of business, you crazy sheriff, I tell you. In the Orca phase, played on the reverse side of the game board, Brody, Hooper, and Quint, and be sure to bring enough booze with you to play this game if you are playing Quint. They are aboard the sinking ship engaged in a climactic battle against the shark, while using additional action and strategy cards to defend the Orca from targeted shark attacks. If the humans kill the shark, they win. If the shark attack on the Orca succeeds, the great white shark wins. Jaws is for 2 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, plays in around an hour, and does carry an MSRP of $29.99. Gotta admit, this could be kind of bizarre. It looks as if the Orca board has like cards on it that are showing the sections of the ship, boat, I guess we should really say. And it looks like you flip them over as the shark destroys those parts of the boat. So, could be kind of wild. Could be good for good for a laugh. So let's see what's going on here. Looks like we're dropping some frames. Then it looks like we cleared up a little bit. Huh? That's weird. We haven't had that issue in quite a while. So, all right, moving right along. This August will bring the latest standalone game in the Imperial Settlers line from Portal Games. Yeah, there are quite a lot of those, and I've got the dope. Imperial Settlers Empires of the North is a new standalone card game in the established Imperial Settlers universe, with players heading to the far north, where 3 different factions live: Scotsmen, Inuits, and Vikings. Take on the role of leader and make your faction into the best empire in the world. Choosing the faction is only the first step, though, as each faction can be played using one of the 2 separate and unique decks. Yes, in the base game, players will find 6 pre-constructed decks ready to use straight out of the box. Each one offers a completely different gameplay style. Develop your economy, deflect your opponent, and fight for dominance in the north. Learn new mechanisms and experience a unique style of Imperial Settlers. Will you be able to create the most successful civilization in Imperial Settlers Empires of the North? I don't know. You'll have to find out. The game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, plays in around 45 to 90 minutes, and will carry an MSRP of $60 when it arrives in August. So here's the strange thing. There's 3 factions, but supposedly the game is for 1 to 4 players. Who's the 4th player? There's 3 factions. I don't know. I kind of have the feeling their player count is wrong. Plus, I do want to point out $60 for a card game, even though they're saying there's 6 decks of cards, that's still pretty pricey in my book. So let's move on to some role-playing game news because Nefarious Coel has arrived. Nefarious is in chat. Good to see ya, Nefarious. So, news announcement today. Renegade Game Studios announced they're taking another foray into role-playing games. This time, this new game is based on the hit Kids on Bikes. And I've got the dope on Teens in Space. Spinning off from the exciting role-playing game of strange adventures in small towns, Kids on Bikes, Teens in Space takes the adventures of youth to the stars. We are so thrilled to announce, in partnership with Hunters Entertainment and Infectious Play Publishing, that's a new company to me, that Teens in Space is landing everywhere in August. Designed and developed by Jonathan Gilmour and Doug Levinewski, this role-playing game sets the stage as you and your group of friends venture into the cosmos for adventure and profit. Along the way, your crew's bonds will be tested, your ship will malfunction, and you'll probably get shot a few times. But that's all in a day's work for Teens in Space. Player characters will take on the roles of adolescents of a variety of species at the age of nearly full maturity, closing near their full physical and intellectual potential, but lacking experience and wisdom. You'll travel the stars in a customized starship of your own design, and through your adventures, you may discover many things about the galaxy you inhabit, as well as about yourself at this formative stage just before adulthood. Teens in Space is an all-in-one 122-page full-colored book featuring art by Heather Vaughn and with sections for both players and GMs. Powered by the Kids on Bike system for a streamlined world-building and storytelling experience, this game is optimized for crews of 2 to 6 players, aged 8 and up, with a dedicated storyteller at the helm. The 122-page hardcover, I'm assuming it's hardcover, Teens in Space will arrive this August, and it will carry an MSRP of $24.99. So, Nefarious says, I thought I heard some scuttlebutt about a similar Dads on Mowers. Could have been a joke. No, actually, Dads on Mowers, if I remember correctly, is one of the settings in Kids on Bikes. Almost positive it's called Dads on Mowers, because if you have seen Kids on Bikes, which I thought was fantastic. I really thought that Renegade and Hunters Entertainment did a great job with that. Not so much on the other role-playing game releases that hit last Gen Con from the two of them, but one of them is like you actually play the dads. So it's like every other little setting that they've got is pretty much you're playing the kids. You're playing, the preteens, teens, what have you. But this one setting is you're playing the dads who are, just basically looking to be able to take naps. Things like that. So, but this could be pretty cool, and this could also be sort of a miss. Because I'm not positive how well this will play out. I mean, like Kids on Bikes, people can, it's pretty easy for most gamers to put themselves into the shoes of characters from Stranger Things or E.T. or Super 8. I almost said 8mm. That ain't it. Super 8. But teenagers in space, I don't know, what we like Lost in Space, sort of? I don't know. It'll be interesting. I will probably have an opportunity to check this out, so we will see how this works out. All right, my final news piece. Evil Hat Productions has released their latest supplement for the Fate role-playing game, and I've got the dope on Engen Maru. The land is sick, and humans are the cause. Well, yeah, you oughta. Not all of them, of course, and therein lies the problem. Civilization, that brash, incomprehensible recent invention of humanity, tends to corrupt what it does not understand. And people really don't understand the land, or Mapu, not anymore. As Engen, Mighty, immortal, shape-shifting, and largely pacifistic beings from beyond the dawn of time, you each act as guardian of some aspect of the land, be it water, laughter, lightning, dreams, or some other essential concept of existence. It's your job to undo the harm done to the land and thereby move the world towards a better form. But how can you guard the land against something you barely understand yourself, when the path of violence risks turning you toward corruption and becoming a Wikufi? Wikoof? A creature of darkness and destruction. Find out in Engine Mapu, a new fate world of adventure of South American urban fantasy from Felipe Real. Inside this 43-page supplement, you'll find an urban fantasy setting that merges modern civilization with the South American myths of the Mapuche people. Taking a guess on that pronunciation. Rules and advice on shifting away from conflicts as the main form of resolution to support the pacifistic approaches of the engine. 3 new skills to reflect the preternatural abilities of the engine: heart, wisdom, and shapeshift, as well as some other alterations of the default Fate core skill list. Rules for tainted fate points which tempt the engine towards corruption. Scale rules representing how difficult it is to change an aspect of the world with your mythic abilities. And there's also a starting adventure for your engine, the Mother and the Doorstep. Take the form of an animal, a stream, a leaf, a person, an idea. Restore the land as one of the engine. The Fate Adventures and Worlds line provides compact, rich, affordable, gorgeous settings with a ready-to-go adventure for GMs in a pinch. Buy one this afternoon, be ready to run this evening. The 43-page PDF is available at DriveThruRPG as a pay-what-you-want. Its suggested price is $4. So I gotta say, this is unusual. This is kind of strange. Completely different, I'll tell you that much. So Nefarious says there are some odd fate settings out there. Yes, there are. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of unusual. I gotta say, it's pretty interesting that it's pay what you want. So Nefarious also points out Evil had admitted to being in difficult monetary straits lately. I hope they can pull it out of the fire with some good releases. Can't say I'm interested in this one. No, I just thought I'd share because, for one, I thought it was, I think it's different. It's not, not the typical same old, right? Speaking of RPGs, of course, I mentioned that that's pay what you want at DriveThruRPG. The Gaming Gang and thus the Daily Dope are affiliates of the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to go over to, say, DriveThruRPG or Wargame Vault, please visit thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banners. Up top is DriveThruRPG. Down at the bottom of the site is our Wargame Vault banner. That way, if you click on one of those banners and you do make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And it all adds up. It really does. So, also want to point out, Sammy has a new review up on the Gaming Gang as of this morning. It's on Telsorian Games, Castle Falkenstein. I should say. Castle Falkenstein. Why do I always want to say Steen? I swear it's from watching Young Frankenstein way too much. It's Frankenstein. So, anyway, so there you have it. Check it out. She gives it an 8.6 out of 10. So, and I will point out, I do have the physical book for Castle Falkenstein, and it is very unusual. It really is. It is different. Of course, it's from like 1994 originally, is when it was released, but very unique mechanics. Very unique voice to it too. You can obviously tell it's a labor of love from Mike Pondsmith. I can tell you that much. So anyway, we're gonna get into the unboxing of Robotech Attack on the SDF-1 in just a couple minutes. Do want to point out what's coming up on the show this week and into next week. Plus, also want to mention that I did some standalone videos over the weekend that are now up on the channel. They're all unboxing, but I did unbox the Call of Cthulhu starter set from Chaosium Inc., Bushido, the the board game Bushido and its Rising Rage expansion from Gray Fox Games. Kamigami Battles, Battle of the Nine Realms, which is from Japanime Games. And then a very unique looking game, Brides and Bribes, which is from Space Balloon Games. It's being released in North America through Ares Games. Very, very unique looking game, because I even mentioned it in the video. When I first heard about it and posted a news piece, I thought it was going to be, in fact, let me grab the box. I thought, oh yeah, okay, so it's kind of like a family game, yeah, you know. And here's this like cutthroat negotiation game. It's like you're murdering family members and stuff. It's like, okay, this could be pretty cool. So definitely check it out. I am hoping to get that to the table next weekend. So I will have some more standalone videos I will probably shoot over next weekend as well. So what's coming up this week? So as you know, today I'm taking a look at Robotech Attack on the SDF-1. Tomorrow I'm going to unbox and take a first look at Volcanic Isle, which was the Origins game release for Arcane Wonders. So this looks kind of interesting. This is another kind of take that sort of game where pieces of the island are like breaking off because of these volcanoes. So of course you're trying to make sure that the portion of the island that your opponents have their villages on are the ones that are splitting off and sinking into the sea, right? Wednesday, it's Wargame Wednesday, so I will be unboxing and taking a first look at Peloponnesian War from Mark Herman, released from my pals over at GMT Games. So that will be on Wednesday's show. Thursday, hey, finally got a review. I'm going to do a review. I will be reviewing the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Starter Set from my pals over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment and Games Workshop. Give you a little hint. I've been kind of hinting at this every time I show it. It's good stuff. Or as my friends used to say, good stuff, Maynard. Then on Friday, I will be unboxing and taking a look at, wow. Champions of Hera from Greenbrier Games. Yes, my friend Julie Ahern from Greenbrier and I talked about this a bit during our Origins interview. So I will be cracking this open and taking a look. So I do want to mention that, so Nefarious Coel says, Peloponnesian War has an appealing new ink smell to the components. Does it really? Because sometimes I crack open, not GMT, but sometimes I'll crack open a game box and I'm like, whoa! It's like, yikes! It's kind of like, I gotta leave it out in the garage open trying to air it out. Because it's like, whoa! Sometimes they have like this weird, not even like a chemical smell, it's just a really bizarre smell. But Nefarious is like, yeah, like a new car smell, but for games. Anyway, I was going to mention, Dan over at No Enemies Here actually asked me to put together a little video last week talking about what was going to be on the Daily Dope. So I sent that to him, and I'm sure, and, you know, he shared it as part of his show. So I'm sure he had plenty of people unsubscribe. So anyway, so a week from today, I will be reviewing Sorcerer. Yes, Sorcerer, the big release from White Wizard Games. So that's a week from today. Week from tomorrow, we'll be taking a look at Ruby Combat Ready. This is another Arcane Wonders release. This is from Arcane Wonders and Rooster Teeth. So if you are a fan of the show, you will definitely want to check this out. I believe there's some minis in it as well. On Wednesday's show, I am going to be reviewing Warfighter. Yes, the modern edition of Warfighter from Dan Verson Games. Finally going to be able to get a review of that out. At least we had some reviews coming next week. Then, on Thursday, I will be reviewing the Call of Cthulhu starter set. So if you have not seen what's in this box, by all means, check out my video from this weekend. I go through everything that's in here. And then, finally, next Friday, I will unbox and take a first look at Aeon's End, which is deck builder. I've heard good things about this. It's a deck builder from Indie Boards and Cards. It's been out for a while, but they asked me if I'd like to do a review of one of their games, kind of get on board with them since I'm pals with Stephen Bonacore. I said, yeah, sure. So we will be taking a look. This is kind of the core set for Aeon's End. One thing I do want to mention is next week, none of that's set in stone because the Dungeons & Dragons Essentials kit is being sent out. My review copy is being sent out this week. So supposed to get it maybe the end of this week, maybe over the weekend, something like that. So of course, if and when that arrives, that will get out pretty quick. That'll be out pretty quick. So usually with like D&D releases, I like to try to get coverage of them the day after I receive it. So next week might be a little bit different. So Nefarious says, good to see you delving into different publishers. I delve into a lot of different publishers. So, I mean, there's only so much time in the day. Plus, some companies out there just, their game releases aren't really for my audience. Or the gang either. So, anyway. All right, so we're going to take a look at Robotech Attack on the SDF-1 in just a sec. Do want to, so any other day but Wednesday. What Magnet says, any other day but Wednesday. Yes, I'm not going to bump. I won't bump Warfighter for the D&D. I'm just mentioning the other stuff. So, no, because I've been waiting to get that review out there. Anywho, if you like the GamingGang.com, if you happen to like the Gaming Gang channel, if you dig the Daily Dope, you probably already know this is a not-for-profit endeavor. So, if you like any of that, please consider making a small donation to Lil Bub's Big Fund and the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Yes, Lil Bub's Big Fund does supply grant monies to organizations around the United States who care for special needs animals who are awaiting adoption. These animals may require medication, they might be blind or deaf or have mobility issues, or maybe they're just really old like me. So, but they do deserve to find a good, loving home, and I guarantee you they will return the love they received tenfold. So, if you like the show, if you like the site, please consider making a small donation to Lil Bub's Big Fund. If you do, by all means, shoot me an email. My email's right down in the corner there. It's Jeff McAleer at thegaminggang.com. Let me know, and if you would like, I will give you a shout out on the following show. Also, if you ever, have a question about something, or maybe you'd like me to try to touch base with a specific publisher, by all means, shoot me an email. I try my best to bring folks what they'd like to see. So, as I was saying, I would think most people are tuning in tonight, well, after the fact, to check out Robotech Attack on the SDF-1 from Japanime Games and Strange Machine Games. It's designed by Darius Hambleton and Jeff Meklinski, with artwork and graphic design provided by Francisco Etkart. The game is for 1 to 5 players, ages 12 and up. It plays in around 2 hours. So there is something cooking to this. It's not just some quick little game. Robotech Attack on the SDF-1 is available right now. It does carry an MSRP of $79.99. Do want to mention I have seen it from online retailers for as low as about $53. So if that's important to you, there you have it. Otherwise, it does carry an MSRP of $79.99. Let's switch on over to the other camera. I'm going to put ye old reading specs on. So we've got some original artwork on the box. Flip this on over. I'm going to get my hobby knife here, and we're going to get rid of the shrink wrap real quick. And this is a game I know pretty much absolutely nothing about. So, Nefarious says, well, there are a number of indie wargame publishers too. basically every war game publisher is kind of an indie publisher. So GMT is kind of an indie publisher. But yeah, you know, some of the companies I've reached out to, and like Compass Games, I've mentioned in the past, they treated me like a jerk. I don't know if it was their owner or their PR person or what, but it was like, you know what? Sorry, I won't even share news from Compass Games anymore. So, but you know, some of the other game companies like Revolution and Hollandspiel just never actually, you know, gotten on board with them. And I'm not one of these people who goes banging on company doors to get review copies of stuff. That's just not my style. So we'll take a quick peek at the info on the back here. It says, a terrible alien threat has descended upon man. All may be lost. Only the massive space fortress known as the SDF-1 and her heroes stand in the way of the Zentradi. Take control of Robotech's epic heroes and defend the SDF-1 against all odds. Command crew, pilot powerful Veritech mechs, command the venerable SDF-1, activate powerful upgrades, and fire the massive reflex cannon. If you use your wits, resources, and teamwork, you may be able to defend the SDF-1 and save humanity. So I know I'm not going to actually be spoiling anything here. So saying that Robotech is how old? It's like 30 some years old. No, it's older than that. I think it's almost 40 years old. The SDF-1 gets destroyed at the end of that story arc of Robotech. Or if we're talking about the original anime, Macross. So this says, here on the box it says ages 14 and up. So I saw some sell sheet info that was saying it was 12 and up. So I will stick with what's on the box. So we've got the rule book here. So let's take a look at the rules. We've got a bunch of cardboard in here. I'll tell you that right now. I can see it. No wonder the game's got the box has a lot of heft to it. Okay, we'll zoom in a little bit. Get a better look at this rule book here. I'm moving the box out of the way, but I don't want to like accidentally knock it out onto the floor. Watch everything tumble out of it. Okay, so we got some designer notes. Game objective: you play heroic characters of the indomitable Super Dimension Fortress 1, also known as the SDF-1. Players are thrown on a chaotic path as alien forces, known as the Zentradi, attack without warning. You must defend the SDF-1 against continuous waves of Zentradi attacks, unexpected disasters, and treachery. As a hero, you'll be forced to battle vicious enemies, repair damage, and manage resources. Tough decisions and sacrifices will be required for you to reach home safely. So I'm kind of curious. So is this supposed to be when they're in aren't they in like Mars orbit and they're trying to get back to Earth? I wonder, and then they're being attacked by the Zentradi. I'm wondering if that's when this is supposed to take place. So we got all the game components here. Looks like we've got quite a lot going on there. Talking about key game concepts and terms. There's a visual guide. I just want to start, like humming the Robotech music. So, yep. Just got the game board. We have the SDF-1 Cruiser mode board. Danger board, hero boards. Scenario booklets. We've got decks of cards. Different card types. We've got action tokens. Looks like there's a lot in here. Talking about the different scenarios, playing the different scenarios. Talking about different phases. So, I do not believe anybody plays as Zentradi. I believe everybody's cooperating together to protect the SDF-1. So, talking about Zentradi vessels, orders card. Okay, so we've got, so that's how we move and attack with the Zentradi. Looks like there's some order cards, so there's some AI cards that will be utilized. Talking about cruisers and flagships for the Zentradi, combat casualties, allocating damage, clarifications. Then we've got an index. So 27 pages, but a lot of images on these as well. So, but looks like there's quite a bit going on in this. It is not like some of the Robotech games that I've seen. That because of course Harmony Gold is going to lose the license very shortly for Robotech, and the reality is Robotech's probably going to disappear. It's going to go the way of the dodo. But there's been like a real, like scramble to get Robotech games out there. Now, Strange Machine Games has done another Robotech game, which is available from Japanime Games, and it's Robotech Ace Pilot, I want to say. Plus, they also released a role-playing game supplement, which I want to say is for Savage Worlds. So, seems like the team over at Strange Machine Games has a fixation with Robotech. So, this looks like how to put together the SDF-1. So here we've got the scenarios. These are the little scenario booklets. Kind of take a quick peek through. This looks like, okay, so this is training. This is scenario 0. Yep, right there, training. So it's going to walk you through everything there is what it looks like. So then we've got scenario 1, Far From Home. Scenario 2, Blue Skies. Scenario 3, Hero's Sorrow. And Scenario S, which is Special Forces. Let's just, I'm not going to look through all of these. We'll just take a peek at. Okay, so it's kind of setting this up. Yep. So they're at the edge of the solar system. So each of these scenarios have some episodes to them. So we've got episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, and episode 5. There you go, Mars Outpost. Cool. I like the fact that it's, it's utilizing stuff from the actual show. So I appreciate that. So we've got some quick reference cards. Looks like we got 5. Nope, we got 4. So, all right. Well, if there's a 5th here, they're out of luck. So we got a quick reference, sequence of play, and then the order symbols for the Zentradi. Then we got token symbols, what these mean. So we've got 4 of those. Then these are the character boards. Looks like we've got a few of these. So we've got Claudia Grant. We've got Lisa Hayes. We got Rick Hunter. We got Henry Gloval. We got Max Sterling. And what do you think? Ray Foker? Ta-da! Ray Foker. All right. So those are 6 heroes you can choose from. Now this looks like these are pieces of the SDF-1 because you build an SDF-1. So yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting. So we've got pieces of it here as well as here. These are the instructions kind of telling you how you put it together. Right there, just like so. It's pretty wild. That is, I mean, I guarantee it's got some serious table presence when that's put together. So is this a map of the... Oh, okay, so this is when the SDF-1 is in cruiser mode. So we've got this board. So we've got production, launch bay, 4 reactor, science, Macross City, as well as the after reactor. So, we got that. That looks pretty cool. I like that. We've got a danger board. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. So showing our hero actions, Macross City population, command crew, science crew, production crew, launch bay crew, the reactors, reflex cannon heat. So I'm going to take a stab in the dark that this is maybe where you track damage or crew casualties. So I see we've got armor. So I wonder if it's almost like, for an example, like Car Wars. And there's some other games as well, but Car Wars was like really the first game that, I guess, Starfire and Starfleet Battles, where you had like armor. You've got boxes that you're going to mark off as you go. I'm taking a guess. This is probably how this works, because we see 2 boxes with armor, beam weapon, rail weapon, and then we start seeing the Macross City population going down. Command crew. Here we go, the science area, production crew. I bet you that's what it is. I'm taking a wild stab. I think that's probably what it is. Just single-sided board there. We got more punch boards. So, UN Spacey tokens. Obviously, these are science tokens. We've got objectives. I like the art. The artwork's nice. Artwork is very cool. Zentradi flagships. Down at the bottom. I wonder if that's how many hits they've got. Probably. That's my guess. And these are dual-sided. Oh, look at that. Wiped out. It's blowing up. So then we've got our pilot heroes here. Officer heroes down here. We've got Zentradi cruisers. There's Chiron. That's pretty cool. Chiron's in it. Mira's in it. She doesn't get a hero pilot standee, but she's in it. So we've got that. Is Britai in this? I'm like taking a look. Got some more tokens here. Now we've got some of the Battloids. So the Veritex there. Got the Zentradi fighters. Got more tokens as well. And then we've got it's like taking a hit. They don't look like they're blowing up, but cool. And we've got looks like another punch board here. Very similar, except we've got the different heroes up top. So we've got Rick, Max, and Ray up here, where we had the officers on the other one. So we've got those. Then we got another board. Oh, we're gonna have a drawstring bag with Zentradi symbol on it. So we've got a board here. This is the game board, no doubts. So this is when you would build your standee of the SDF-1. It's going to go in the center here. I believe you're going to actually rotate it as you've got different various different attack vectors. Got the Zentradis coming from different areas and stuff like that. So we've got mecha orders here. We've got MIAs. Looks like we've got incidents. SDF-1's resources. That's probably where we put the deck of cards. We've got Zentradi invasion down here. And then we've got Zentradi orders on here. So that is the main board. I can see that this will take up some space on your gaming table. That is for sure. Got a couple of decks of cards. We got a nice little insert here as well. So we've got a bunch of baggies. We've got some character cards, it looks like. It says story characters. So we'll open these up last. Got a couple of six-siders. A couple of six-sided dice. So let's take these out. And we're going to zoom in and get a better look at these. The cards are rather small. As you can see, I don't have huge hands, but going to give you an idea here. They're not massive. Kind of small, like Euro size cards. So let's see what we've got. I'm taking a guess we've got a few different decks here. So these are incidents, resources, a bunch of those, mecha orders. Okay, so those are those. Alright, and we've got Zentradi orders. Zentradi invasion. And then we got more incidents. Yep, those are all incidents. So I'm going to take a stab in the dark. Like, incidents are probably like random events that are taking place. So let's find out. So let's take a look. I'm not going to look through every single card, but we will look at a few of these cards. So you've got the incidents here. So, disobeying orders. One hero pilot takes 1 damage but gains 2 of some token. Roy, you can't take on so many alone. Get out of there. Jeez. Pilot sacrifice. Down with a fight. Urgent action. Repurpose materials. Hardened pilots. Active patrols. Or get Valkyrie patrols set up on our perimeter. Zentradi could strike at any moment. Alright, so these are the incidents for the SDF-1. Then we got mecha orders. And Veritex, Destroids, and Scouts. So it looks like we've got different like movement options almost. I was talking about Scouts here too. That's kind of cool. Of course, you're going to shuffle all these up, so they're not going to all be like in a row. So it looks like the Veritex, if you don't move, you can like get 1 attack, or you can move 2 and no attacks. That's my guess. I'm guessing that's maybe what this means. So we got some there where you can actually get 2 moves. Or move 2 areas, maybe, and get an attack. So, that is the mech orders. We've got the Zentradi orders. There aren't a ton of them. So, pods, cruisers, flagships. Got all these different symbols, which, of course, we got a quick reference that tells us what those mean. Quite a few different options here. So those are the Zentradi orders. Then we got Zentradi invasion. Now maybe these are almost like special events for the Zentradis. So let's take a look here. So alien sympathizers, assassin strikes, battle cry, battle pod swarm, Ben's demise. Oh, wow, that's pretty wild. Ben Dixon. Yeah, I remember that character. So, comms jammed. Elite forces. Yeah, that's pretty cool. A lot of stuff that that took place in the show. Chiron's fury. Power loss. All right, so there's quite a few of those. So those are the Zentradi invasion cards. And then we've got the SDF-1 resources. So is this where we bust out like Min-May singing and stuff like that? Asteroid field, bar fight, bolster crew, canister rounds, close quarter combat, coffee break. Anyone want some coffee? Destroyed defense, downed pilots, heroic fury. Oh, there's a lot of stuff going on in this. Penetrating rounds. Cool. All right, and then the final cards we've got here are these story characters. So let's see what we've got. As far as promos and things like that, I had seen that Japanime Games has like a lot of promos for some of their games, especially Heart of Crown, which I've got a copy of. I've got the 2 expansions as well as a bunch of promos for it. I don't know if there's a bunch of promos for this game. I have no idea. So we've got story character cards. So we're going to flip them over. So here we go. So we've got Chiron, Miria, Ben Dixon. There's Min May. I'm just not a fan. Just, There's Rick Hunter, Miriam, and Max. Okay, cool. So these are the story character cards. And of course, we've got the 6 characters that have the character boards. So once again, the character boards here that each of the players is going to choose one. All right, so we've got, let's zoom back out a little bit. So we've got the box with the insert. We got a bunch of baggies here for all the counters. So we've got the little decks of cards. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Otherwise, these cards will be all over the place. Got the 6-sided dice. We got the story character cards. We've got the quick reference as well as the hero cards. So let's put these back in. So we've got the game board. We've got quite a few punch boards with counters and standees. We've got the danger board, which I think is where we track like damage to the SDF-1. We've got the board for the SDF-1 when it's in cruiser mode, like so. We've got the parts of the SDF-1 when it's in, I don't think they call it Battloid mode. So we've got the instructions for that. We've got the character boards, got the quick reference. We've got the scenarios. Oh, I left that. I took that out. We got the little draw bag with the Zentradi symbol on it. And then we've got the rule book. And that is what we've got when we take everything from Robotech Attack on the SDF-1 outside the box. I introduced my nephew Cameron to Robotech, so that was about a year ago. And he watched all 3 story arcs and really dug it. So sure, he's going to get a kick out of playing this with his uncle. So well, hopefully we'll be able to get some of his friends as well. Some of the other like part-time members of the gang. But do want to mention Robotech Attack on the SDF-1 is from Japanime Games and Strange Machine Games. It is available now. It is for 1 to 5 players, ages 12 and up, 14 and up on the box. I'm going to go with what the box says, and does play in around 2 hours. Carries an MSRP of $79.99. Of course, I will have a review of this in the near future, and looks pretty cool. Looks like there's a lot going on, at least. It's not just, you know, a few different cards and things like that. It looks like, granted, there's a lot of cards going on because it's a lot of randomness, so that might be something to look out for. But hey, that's kind of how it would be, right? Got to defend yourself. It's almost like a tower defense game, I'm sure. So that is it for tonight's show. As I mentioned, on tomorrow's show, I will be, there it is. I'll be unboxing and taking a first look at Volcanic Isle from Arcane Wonders. So, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. By now you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Everybody who joined me in chat, thank you very much for hanging out tonight. A little quieter than usual in chat, but still, I appreciate everybody watching live. And of course, if you're watching after the fact, I appreciate you too. So, everybody have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks again for watching The Daily Dope, presented by The Gaming Gang. If you like this episode, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. And if you dig the channel, please subscribe. If you'd like to check out our previous episode, click right here. And if you want to check out a somewhat randomly selected episode, give a click right down here. It'll be like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You just don't know what you'll get. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'm Jeff McAleer.